What I'd like to do is reboot my Road Back to 2500 show that really got canceled by COVID. Canceled because obviously I couldn't play in tournaments, but because I couldn't play in tournaments, I then didn't have games to analyze, which to my mind is the most central part of any self-improvement chess strategy or plan. So I finally played a tournament this last weekend, and I wanted to, restart the show. And the original idea was really selfish in that I wanted to force myself to articulate what I was doing with the training program and also just what I was doing with my life in general. And to share too the hard parts of it, and to try to express what those are. So for example, I'm obviously an older dude. I'm not going to become world champion or anything. The horizon for chess improvement isn't that large, but at the same time, I enjoy playing a lot. I enjoy playing well when I can. And now there's the extra little carrot of being able to maybe qualify for things like the World Senior Team, US Senior Championship, that kind of thing. So that's all out there. It's complicated. My life's a bit of a mess in a variety of ways. So to make time for this is a huge commitment, as I'm sure many of you who are doing similar things have similar problems going on as well. There's a certain amount of, let's call it professionalism or something, if you want to call it that, in that, I teach a lot of chess, and I don't want to be the kind of teacher who doesn't try to do whatever it is that they're teaching. I've always felt like in any class I've ever been in that I want the teacher to be themselves engaged in whatever they're trying to teach as well. So I played in the Atlantic Open this last weekend. I tied for second place, which, considering my state before the tournament, is a good result. Namely, I was complete lack of confidence after this Cherry Blossom Open, where I played at Memorial Day. And I did terribly. One of the worst tournaments of my life, but I did extensively go over all those games with my new coach, KGB, and he's given me some Soviet truths that I'll talk about a little bit after. Also, the other thing going into it, besides the loss of confidence that I felt, was there was this whole thing where when I first committed to the tournament, didn't think I was going to have to wear a mask or something, then all of a sudden it became clear at the last moment that no, in fact, because of this Delta thing, I was going to have to wear a mask. And I've got glasses, so I can't really wear a mask and see at the same time. It's a real problem. And so I wavered at the last moment, and I was like, KGB, man, dude, should I even be playing this tournament with the mask and all this stuff? And he just laughed at me. He's like, he literally gave me the walked in the snow to school story, where he was like, dude, in Soviet Russia, man, I would take a bus an hour each way to the chess club. And we're not talking some American bus. No, this was a Soviet bus. You had to stand the whole way. There were people all around you. But for chess, this was something that I did. And here you are in the greatest country in the world, and you're complaining about a mask. So, okay. I was like, all right, okay, I get it. I'll have to go do the mask thing. And part of it, too, was just the decision that if I'm going to start to play again, I have to do it. I'm not going to be, wasn't that many other tournaments around that I could go to besides this one anyway. So also there was weird stuff, my glasses got gouged, I couldn't get new glasses in time, and so there was that too. So there's all these external factors, including a messy personal life, where I was just like, oh man, I don't know. And one of my takeaways was I feel like I really did learn something at this tournament about myself, about life, about playing chess, that I'm very thankful for. And I'm going to try to express it now. And one of the reasons I definitely wanted to do this particular video is just to express this one thought or attitude that one can have. Namely, when you're playing in this tournament, there's so many reasons that you could give yourself to not concentrate. And in this case, I had this epic thing was happening where, I was be wearing the mask and I pulled it down just like below the lip of the nose. And so it's still covering my nostrils, but that way at least I could breathe without it affecting my glasses. And oh man, they got really hot at me, man. They got hot and they were yelling at me, and they were even like, these uncultured arbiters were coming over and like disturbing the progress of the game. And one of the things I know about my previous self is I would have let that just put me on full tilt. And somehow I was just like, I'm just here to enjoy the game. KGB told me the story about the bus. I'm not going to worry about any of this other stuff. I'm just not going to even give it any of my energy. And that was astounding to me. It was just astounding to me because I know that my previous self was not able to just shut all that out. And the beautiful thing about it for me was like all that other stuff, is it important in a kind of way? Yes. But in terms of what I was trying to do, which was play chess, it was completely unimportant. And there was even this moment I remember at the beginning of round 4 where they were just really on me, and I couldn't see. I couldn't see a thing because my glasses were totally fogged. And I was just like, dude, I'm going to go full Gelfand here. I'm just going to play without really being able to see the board. And Gelfand looks up, and Ivanchuk does the same thing. And so at least for a while, I played without even being able to see the board. And, my friend and student, James Altucher, came up with this very interesting idea that, and I'm just interpreting it as I think I understand it. He's calling like a political idea of being radically moderate. And I'm not even sure exactly what the guy means when he said it. And it took, I've just kind of been trying to digest what that meant. It feels like provocative to say it like that. I'm not exactly sure what he means. But what was interesting to me about the experience at the chess tournament was like, well, maybe I can say to myself that, there's all these things that people get excited about in society, whether it's the mask or some other thing, and they're yelling at each other from opposite sides. And maybe being radically moderate means completely divorcing yourself from that heated back and forth, which is ultimately not about whatever it is they think it's about. At least that's my take on it. And it's not worth any of your energy. And it's definitely possible to get sucked in. And I think no one is immune, even if they call themselves radically moderate or whatever they want to call it. You're never going to be totally immune from getting sucked into that kind of whirlwind. But in terms of like an ideal, what the tournament taught me is like, right, there are things that are beautiful and interesting in life, such as the actual game itself. And all this other stuff is just going to suck away all of your energy from, what's actually important. So that was what was good about the tournament. In terms of a negative, there were definitely 2 games I should have won. So I won 3 and drew 2. And so I think there was some tactical misses that I had, like some things I didn't see. And I think part of that is being rusty. Maybe some of it's getting older. And so one of the questions I have is just like, can I train myself to improve at least a little bit with calculation and that kind of stuff? I don't know, honestly. I feel like a lot of trainers out there promise that you can get better at calculation, and especially after you've done it a long time as myself, I think you can make some gains, but it's difficult. It's difficult. I am going to try. I got this book, The Best Move by Jansa and Hort from back in the day. I'm going to use that to train myself a little bit once I get done with the 5 games, which are, to my mind, like the big thing for my training. So I've got the 5 games. I also did a bunch of chessable stuff before the tournament. I don't think it helped that much, honestly, but I'm going to continue to do that just to fill out my opening repertoire, to be comfortable with, the opening. And part of the idea there is just not that I believe the openings will help that much, but to have a feeling of confidence and to be able to play just a little bit of edge to maybe make some moves faster than than I otherwise would. The other thing that I think is interesting about the tournament that I'm going to do going forward is it was very helpful that I've kind of got back in shape again. And I got turned on to CrossFit by I Am Greg Shahada and Strong Chess, both friends of the dojo. And I've been kind of living a clean lifestyle. That's definitely helped. I feel like definitely like just a sense of clarity in my mind that is often lacking when I'm, if I drink a little bit or I eat poorly. It just goes out the window for me. So that's kind of another lesson going forward, that was just nice to have a clear mind, especially in a tournament like that. A lot of times I'll be exhausted, and I didn't feel physically exhausted during the tournament, and probably I would have if it was longer than 5 rounds, which makes 5 rounds like a really good thing for an old guy like myself. I also want to do some endgame work. That's also on my agenda. I don't know yet what I'm going to do, but definitely going to do some endgame work. Mostly I enjoy it. There was one endgame I didn't win here, and I think, I'll maybe talk a little bit about it more going forward. Okay, so I just wanted to give that update. I'll probably do another one, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, whenever it feels like I have something interesting to say. And then the next tournament probably be end of October, something like that. Maybe as late as November, which is like the Thanksgiving tournaments, which are usually pretty big. There's some interesting tournaments, at least in November, maybe in Charlotte. We'll see. In any case, I want to leave it there, and I look forward to talking again on the road back to 2500, which I might rename. All right, bye-bye.